Good morning to all. So in the last class we discussed about the chapter The Letters from the Mothers of the Nanjaparambu to the Supreme Court by M.A. Rahman, the final part of that chapter. So in this class we will be going with a quick summary of that chapter, and also to focus on the topics of areas that the questions should be asked in the examination point of view. So this chapter, which is in the form of a letter, so the intention of this letter was to ban the the poisonous chemical, which is the endosulfan, and also to get the public attention regarding all these kinds of social issues and problems. So basically we have to focus on all these kinds of the major incidents, major problems, and also the kinds of studies based on this endosulfan and the final verdict of the Supreme Court. So basically the final verdict was on 17th January on 2017, which announced a compensation of rupees 5 lakh for each afflicted family as interim relief, which had to be disbursed within 5 months of the verdict. So this was the final verdict by the Supreme Court. And regarding this letter, one of the burning social issues of Kerala and broadly of India was the problem caused by the endosulfan in Kasaragod district. Basically we have to focus on the place which is the Nanjaparambu. Professor M.A. Rahman, on behalf of all the mothers of the victims, wrote a letter to the Supreme Court for justice, which is discussed in this chapter. So the letter was submitted to the Supreme Court on behalf of tens of thousands of victims who had to live the misery because of the poisonous scent, which is the endosulfan. So basically the major issue of this chapter, the major focus of this chapter is on the poisonous chemical, which is the endosulfan itself, the problems created by that chemical, especially the dangerous chemical, which is the endosulfan. And later, the author begins the letter citing the tragedy of an endosulfan afflicted family, where the newborn infant of Mamata and Narayan of Adur, which is the place near to the Kaithod, is born without eyes and dies immediately, and also her other children were also affected by the endosulfan in various ways. The twins that were born in her second delivery also died. These endosulfan inflicted infants were never mentioned in the government list of people dead due to the endosulfan. The only proof that the family was stricken by endosulfan was the pension of rupees 2000 per month given to their endosulfan inflicted child. So the first part of this letter is about the family, which is the Mamata and Narayan of Adur, Kaithod, and the tragedy of that family. Basically the pathetic feeling of that mother, in which how the endosulfan affected that family, and even their children were not present in the government list of this endosulfan affected childs. So that's regarding the first part of this letter. The women in Nanjaparambu fear the conception rather than the abortion because they don't want to give birth to the limbless torsos in place of babies. The malformed children continue to be born even 10 years after the ban of endosulfan spraying in 2000. The negligence on the part of the government led to an increase in the death rate. In 2002, the author and his people went to shoot a documentary, which is A Paradise for the Dying, and in which a plantation laborer named Achyutan Maniyani revealed that when in 2000 the endosulfan was banned, the excess chemical was buried in Nanjaparambu, and this residue of endosulfan is the cause of these kinds of death and many kinds of social problems. So this is regarding the second part of this chapter, in which when the author and his team went to the for the shooting of this documentary, which is A Paradise for the Dying, they met a plantation laborer, in which he said that after the ban of this the endosulfan in 2000, the excess amount, the remaining amount of this endosulfan was buried in Nanjaparambu. So this was the one of the major cause for the death in the Nanjaparambu. And also his revelations may be summarized as follows. When endosulfan was banned, the excess pesticide which remained was buried in Nanjamparambu. So a laborer named Subbiya Maniyani buried it. He is dead now. So this was the revelation by the Achyutan Maniyani, a plantation laborer, in which he said that the excess amount of this endosulfan was buried in Nanjamparambu, and Subbiya Maniyani buried this kind of excess amount of this endosulfan in Nanjamparambu. So this was the major cause for many kinds of this unnatural death and social problems. And in the next part of this letter, we have a clear idea regarding the geographical features of this Nanjamparambu. The Nanjamparambu lies in the heart of this Minjipadavu mountain in Adur. Here lies the Kerala Plantation Corporation's Minjipadavu estate. The huge cement tank in which the endosulfan was prepared is situated in Nanjamparambu, and it is even the landing place for the helicopters. Around this, the pure water veins of Nanjamparambu flow between the crevices of rocks, and these fountains of water trickle in stream to the villages in the valley. And there are two man-made underground tunnels in Nanjamparambu, enclosed by stone steps and overlaid with leaves of this foliage, embedded with the roots of huge trees. So basically, regarding the place in Nanjamparambu, it is situated in the heart of this Minjipadavu mountain in Adur, and there the Kerala Plantation Corporation's the Minjipadavu estate is situated, and the huge cement tank in which the endosulfan was prepared is also situated near to this Nanjamparambu estate, and then even that was the place to land the helicopters. And the most important thing regarding this place is that around this, the pure water veins of Nanjamparambu flow between the crevices of rocks, and these fountains of water trickle in streams to the villages in the valley. So from this place, the hilly area of this Nanjamparambu, the water sources are originated. Basically, this place is also the place in which the excess amount of the endosulfan was buried. So this made many kinds of the social problems in this Nanjamparambu. And also there are two man-made underground tunnels there in the Nanjamparambu in order to store the water, and it will be helpful for the farmers during the summer time. And the water that accumulates in these tunnels quenches the thirst of the villagers, especially during the scorching summer, and the residue of the buried endosulfan seeps into the stream, which explains the death even after the ban. So the major cause for this unnatural death was this buried kind of this endosulfan in the heart of this Nanjamparambu, and even the water sources were originated from this place. Very long ago, one of the streams of this hill was diverted to a village by an organic farmer named Mamaducha. So this is regarding the origin of this place, which is the Kaithod, in which a farmer who just diverted the water source to a different place, and the village came to be called as this Kaithod because this Mamaducha diverted the stream with the help of a spade. Mamaducha's daughter Hajara lived on the banks of this stream. However, the water which was to be blessing became a curse, as endosulfan had seeped into it from the ground in which it was buried. Today, Kaithod village teems with endosulfan infected children. So here we have a clear idea regarding the village, which is the Kaithod. So this is regarding the place which is the Kaithod, in which the name of this village came to be called as this like the Kaithod because Mamadacha diverted the stream with the help of a spade. So that was regarding the origin of this place, which is the Kaithod. And also today the Kaithod village teems with the endosulfan infected children. So the Kaithod is also the endosulfan infected area. Then the endosulfan, the killer pesticide, has made the Nanjamparambu a graveyard. It was not the ignorance of any agricultural scientist which gave rise to such a difficult situation. So this plight is the result of the fatal, unscrupulous greed and terror-spewing activity of the government, which misinterprets scientific knowledge and sold it out to the market. The Plantation Corporation, the agricultural scientists and the central government department and also the manufacturers of endosulfan cannot evade from this responsibility directed by the Supreme Court. The Community Health Department of Calicut Medical College conducted an epidemiology study for ICMR and discovered high levels of endosulfan in the blood samples collected from Nanjambarambu. So, this is regarding some of the studies based on this endosulfan, some of the experiments done on the basis of this endosulfan. So, on the first study which was done by the Community Health Department of Calicut Medical College, and they discovered high levels of endosulfan in the blood samples which was collected from the Nanjambarambu. And then the Kerala State Council for Science, Technology and Environment conducted a study to measure the endosulfan level in the water and soil of Nanjambarambu. So, the first study was about the blood samples, the content of this endosulfan in the blood samples. So, second study was to measure the endosulfan level in water and in the soil of Nanjambarambu, and found out that there were dangerous levels of endosulfan particles even 10 years after its serial spraying was stopped. The study also revealed that there was every possibility of it having contaminated the food chain if this observation is placed alongside the endosulfan found in the blood samples collected from the Nanjambarambu. It will be revealed that the countless deformed half children who led a death in life are a creation of this endosulfan. So, basically the second test or second study was to found these kinds of problems, basically the problems caused by this endosulfan. So, the reason behind all these kinds of problems were the endosulfan content in the water and also in the soil. So, in the first study it is clear that the content in the blood samples of the people from the Nanjambarambu. In the second study it is clear that the content of this endosulfan in the soil and water in the Nanjambarambu. So, this was one of the major reason to become the Nanjambarambu as a graveyard of this endosulfan. So, in the first paragraph we already discussed about that, in which the endosulfan, the killer pesticide, has made Nanjambarambu a graveyard. So, the major reason for these kinds of miseries in the Nanjambarambu was that the endosulfan itself, its major causes like this. So, that is regarding the second last part of this chapter. Then the final part of this chapter, in which the Central Agriculture Department, which is showing an urgency to export the endosulfan, is not even bothered about resisting this grotesque life destructive phenomenon, and in fact they are actually playing with the life of the people in Kasaragod. The agricultural scientists are ignorant of the fact that the plantation corporation had spread over 11 panchayats and are trying to deprive the victims even of the basic humanitarian consideration that they deserve. They countered the studies conducted by the Sunitha Narayanan and Dr. Habibullah. The Calicut Medical College study had proved that the endosulfan was the cause for all the severe health problems, but this study was suppressed when the CAD, which means the Central Agriculture Department, furnished the report against them. And the pesticide issue is also impacted the rights of the civil society. The authorities are unwilling to take up the construction of the Central University campus in Peria until they are convinced that the 300 acres of land allotted by the government in Peria is uncontaminated by endosulfan. So, this is regarding the last part of this chapter, the letter, in which the authorities against all these kinds of actions, basically the authorities who made these kinds of endosulfan, basically the Central Agriculture Department, they just turned against these kinds of study reports, and they just countered the studies conducted by Sunitha Narayanan and Dr. Habibullah. And then the Calicut Medical College study had proved that these kinds of endosulfan was the cause for all these severe kinds of these health problems, but this study was suppressed when the Central Agriculture Department, they furnished the report against them. So this is kind of a play done by the manufacturers of the endosulfan. So this is also an important factor regarding this letter, in which how the authorities work against these kinds of studies and these kinds of reports. And also the agricultural scientists are ignorant of the fact that the plantation corporation has spread over 11 panchayats and are trying to deprive the victims even the basic humanitarian consideration that they deserve. And also regarding the Central University campus in Peria, the authorities were unwilling to take up this construction if the Central University campus in Peria until they are convinced that the 300 acres of land allotted by the government in Peria is uncontaminated by the endosulfan. With the strong belief that the Supreme Court would ban the endosulfan, this letter is being written by the mothers on behalf of the infants of this Nanjamparambhu. So this is the concluding line of this sentence of this chapter, in which, with the strong belief that the Supreme Court would ban the endosulfan, this letter is being written by the mothers on behalf of the infants of this Nanjamparambhu. So this is regarding a kind of a formal way of concluding this letter, and their intention of this letter was to permanently ban these kinds of endosulfan and to save their life, especially the people from the Nanjamparambhu. So they just wrote this letter on behalf of this infant children of this Nanjamparambhu. So this is also a pathetic feeling of that content. So that's regarding a quick overview of this chapter. So basically in this lecture we have a clear idea regarding the endosulfan, the problems caused by this endosulfan, and also all these kinds of studies and experiments, it proved that the endosulfan was the major cause for all these kinds of health problems in this Nanjamparambhu. So that's regarding a quick overview of this chapter. So in this chapter we have a clear idea regarding the problems created by the endosulfan. So the authorities, they were just playing with the life of this the people from the Nanjamparambhu. And also at the concluding part of this lecture we have a clear idea regarding their intention. So endosulfan പൂർണ്ണമായിട്ട് നിരോധിക്കും എന്നൊരു വിശ്വാസത്തോടു കൂടിയാണ് ഈ ഒരു കത്ത് അവസാനിപ്പിക്കുന്നത്. അതേപോലെ തന്നെ ഈ കത്ത് എഴുതുന്നതെന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഒരു 10 അമ്മമാരാണ്, ഇത് നെഞ്ചമ്പറമ്പിലെ 10 അമ്മമാരാണ് ഇത് കത്ത് എഴുതുന്നത്. സുപ്രീം കോടതിക്ക് വേണ്ടിയാണ് ഈ സത്യവാങ്മൂലം ആയിട്ട് എഴുതുന്നത്. അതുപോലെ തന്നെ ഇതിൽ അവർ പറയുന്നുണ്ട് കുഞ്ഞുങ്ങൾക്ക് വേണ്ടി, on behalf of their infants from the Nanjamparambhu. So this letter gives a clear idea regarding all the problems caused by especially in the place of this Nanjamparambhu, caused by these kinds of the endosulfan, which is a poisonous chemical. So now we have to focus on the some terms which is comes under the topic, the glossary of this chapter. So basically there are many kinds of terms are which is given in this textbook. So we have to focus on the important topics. So the first one is the MTP, the full form of MTP. So MTP means the medical termination of pregnancy, and then the epidemiology. So the epidemiology means the branch of medicine which deals with the incidence, distributions and possible control of diseases and other factors relating to the health. Then the NIOH. So NIOH means National Institute of Occupational Health, a premier institute under the aegis of this Indian Council of Medical Research, under the Department of Health Research, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India. So NIOH also conducted a study based on this endosulfan. Then the mercenary. So mercenary means primarily concerned with the making money at the expense of ethics. So it is also a important fact regarding on the topic the endosulfan. And macabre. So macabre means disturbing because concerned with or causing fear of death. മരണഭീതിയാൽ ഉണ്ടാവുന്ന ഒരു അവസ്ഥ, അതാണ് ഇവിടെ ഈ മക്കാബ്രെ എന്ന വാക്കുകൊണ്ട് ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നത്. പിന്നെ നമുക്ക് നോക്കാനുള്ളത് trepidation. So the trepidation means a feeling of fear or the anxiety about something that may happen. So നഞ്ചമ്പറമ്പിലെ നിവാസികൾക്കുണ്ടായിരുന്ന ഒരു അവസ്ഥയാണ് ഈ ട്രെപ്പിഡേഷൻ എന്ന വാക്കുകൊണ്ട് ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നത്. സോ ദീസ് ആർ ദി സം ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻറ്റ് വേർഡ്സ് എസ്പെഷ്യലി on the topic the glossary that we should focus on. Now we have some major topics in which the questions may be asked from these kinds of topics in the examination point of view. So we just go through all these kinds of topics itself, and we will be revising all these kinds of topics while revising all these chapters at the revision time. So the first topic is that how is the government compensate the abuse of endosulfan? എൻഡോസൾഫാൻ്റെ ഇത്തരത്തിലുള്ള ഒരു എക്സസൈഡ് ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്ന ഒരു അവസ്ഥയെ എങ്ങനെയാണ് ഗവൺമെൻറ് നേരിട്ടത്? സോ അത് നമുക്ക് ഈ ലെറ്ററിൽ തന്നെ ആദ്യത്തെ ഒരു പാർട്ടിൽ കൂടുതലായിട്ട് കാണാൻ പറ്റും. ദി പ്രിക്കോഷൻസ് ടേക്കൺ ബൈ ദി ഗവൺമെൻറ്, ദി അതോറിറ്റീസ്. അതേപോലെ തന്നെ ഈ സ്റ്റഡി ഒക്കെ അവസാനം സ്റ്റഡി അതിൻ്റെ റിസൾട്ടൊക്കെ വന്നപ്പോൾ എങ്ങനെയാണ് ഇതിൻ്റെ അതോറിറ്റീസ് അവരോട് പ്രതികരിച്ചത്? അവരത് സപ്രസ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് അതിനില്ലാതാക്കാനാണ് ശ്രമിച്ചത് അവസാനം. സോ ഇത്തരത്തിലുള്ള ഒരു കണ്ടൻറ്റാണ് നമുക്ക് ആദ്യത്തെ ഒരു ടോപ്പിക്ക് വരുന്നത്. Then the second topic is that how did the endosulfan pollute the water bodies? So the water sources, how the water sources from the Nanjambarambu were polluted by the endosulfan. So we already discussed about that while going through the second part of this chapter, in which the excess amount of this endosulfan was buried in the Nanjambarambu, and all these kinds of water resources are originated from these kinds of the hilly areas of this Nanjambarambu. So this is the major reason in which all the kinds of water bodies were polluted by the endosulfan. So this is also a dangerous health issue in that place. So the third topic is about regarding the kind of this crime against all these kinds of humanity. Basically the crime is in the side of this endosulfan authorities and humanity, which represent the Nanjambarambu, the people from the Nanjambarambu. So how they suffered all these kinds of issues, basically the issues created by these kinds of endosulfan. It is a kind of dangerous chemical, a pollutant, and also it made many kind of social and also just like the endosulfan became a kind of common problem in this place, especially in the Nanjambarambu. So അത് എങ്ങനെയാണ്, എത്തരത്തിലാണ് അത് വന്നത്, എങ്ങനെയാണ് അവർ ക്രിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്തത്? അപ്പോൾ അതിൻ്റെ ഒരു കണ്ടൻറ്റ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് നമ്മുടെ ചാപ്റ്ററിൽ പറയുന്ന ഒരുവിധ എല്ലാ കണ്ടൻറ്റ് ഇതിൽ നമുക്ക് വരാൻ സാധിക്കും, വിച്ച് മീൻസ് ദി ഫസ്റ്റ് പാർട്ട് ആൻഡ് ദി സെക്കൻഡ് പാർട്ട്, ബോത്ത് ദി ഫസ്റ്റ് പാർട്ട് ആൻഡ് സെക്കൻഡ് പാർട്ട്. സോ ദി ഫസ്റ്റ് പാർട്ട് വാസ് റിഗാർഡിംഗ് how some incidents occurred, the victims, the miseries of their life, and also in the second part regarding the geographical area of the geographical features of this Nanjambarambu, and later the studies based on this endosulfan issue. So all these things are the content for this third topic. And the fourth one is that how did the endosulfan adversely affect the food chain? എപ്രകാരമായിരുന്നു ഈ ഫുഡ് ചെയിനെ എൻഡോസൾഫാൻ എങ്ങനെയാണ് അത് എഫക്റ്റ് ചെയ്തതെന്ന്. സോ അതൊരു പഠനത്തിലൂടെ, എസ്പെഷ്യലി ദി കേരള സ്റ്റേറ്റ് കൗൺസിൽ ഓഫ് സയൻസ് ആൻഡ് ടെക്നോളജി, ദേ ജസ്റ്റ് conducted a study, and their report was which is related to this food chain. So basically this endosulfan made all these kinds of especially the food chain, it affected adversely the food chain, affected all these kinds of plants, animals, and also human beings in an adverse effect. So this is also a kind of important topic that we should focus on. So the last topic is regarding the impact of this letter on the crusade against the endosulfan. So endosulfan എപ്രകാരമാണ് പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് നെഞ്ചമ്പറമ്പ് നിവാസികളെ അതെങ്ങനെയാണ് എഫക്റ്റ് ചെയ്തത്, എത്തരത്തിലാണ് അവർക്ക് നീതി ലഭിച്ചത്, ഇത്തരം കാര്യങ്ങളൊക്കെയാണ് നമുക്ക് ഇതിൽ ശ്രദ്ധിക്കാറുള്ളത്. So these are the major important topics that we should focus on while we going to the examination point of view. So we will discuss all these kinds of topics while we revising this chapter. So in this class we just go through the major content of this chapter once again, in which the first part and second part, and we just concluded that chapter, and then we discussed about some important terms which is related to the glossary of this chapter, and finally we just go through the major topics from this chapter, in which we can expect some questions from that topics. So these are the major topics that we should focus on while we going through all these kinds of questions in this chapter. So with that we just completed this chapter, which is the letters from the mothers of Nanjambarambu to the Supreme Court. So the major intention of this chapter is that this letter is that the to get the public attention for these kinds of problems caused by this endosulfan. So endosulfan is a kind of dangerous poisonous chemical which resulted in many kinds of social problems, especially these kinds of unnatural deaths and miseries for these kinds of people from the Nanjaparambu. So this is also a kind of pathetic feeling of that place, especially the major reason was the endosulfan itself. So the intention of this letter was to ban the endosulfan, and also the verdict from the Supreme Court was favored the victims of these people from the Nanjaparambu. So this was the affidavit submitted to the Supreme Court, and the verdict by the Supreme Court was like this, which was delivered on the 17th January 2017, and they announced a compensation of rupees 5 lakh for each afflicted family as interim relief, which had to be disbursed within 5 months of the verdict, and the disbursal is under process. The full-scale compensation package will be delivered by the compensation tribunal in due course. So this is regarding the final verdict by the Supreme Court. So with that, we just winding up this chapter, which is the letters from the mothers of Nanjaparambu to the Supreme Court by M.A. Rahman. So that's for today. Thank you. Happy learning.